5-1 on the year. BC won the coin toss, took the ball, and they will try to get this red-hot offense, the most dangerous aerial attack in the Canadian Football League, to work early in this ball game. BC 7-2 versus the West so far this season, keeping tabs on what's going on in Winnipeg as well, as BC has put themselves right back into the thick of it, the race to the top of the West. And the roof is closed here tonight. We are underway in Vancouver. This will come down to Williams just inside his own 20, near sideline, picks his way up to about the 37-yard line before he's thrown out of bounds. And that'll give us our first look at Vernon Adams Jr.
8 300 yards passing games for Vernon Adams Jr. 3,457 yards passing. He's gotten a little bit of trouble with the interceptions, but his defense has bailed him out, and they've managed to get on this 3-game winning streak after the loss to Hamilton a month ago.
Mentioned the defense bailing him out in some spots, but he's also bounced back nicely in a lot of these games as well, right?
Absolutely.
Couple touchdowns, couple interceptions last week for VA. Starts here on his own 37. 3 options out to his right, throws to his left, and he's got Hatcher early in this ball game, and that'll be enough for a first down for BC and this Lions starting offense.
Suk Chung is out at right guard, so Andrew Pearson will take over for him. Remember, David Neville took over for Pearson at left guard. That's how they'll line up tonight. And the Ferrari is out of the garage, according to head coach Rick Campbell. Dom Rhymes plays tonight.
Unnecessary addition for an already dangerous BC Lions offense against this Riders defense, who will be busy. 11 yards there for Mizell.
No Anthony Lanier yet. Very close, but wasn't able to play in this one. So Christian Albright out of Ball State will take that spot. CJ Rivas will line up at the linebacker spot, but he may see him at halfback. Derek Moncrief is going to start back there. Gone through a few of them, including Trumaine Washington.
3 to the right, 3 to the left here for Adams. He's going to have to take off up the middle, back to the line of scrimmage, and not much further. That'll go down as a sack on the play.
Yeah, it looked like Pete Robertson sort of dropped out of there. They went with 3-man pressure, and Micah Johnson flushes Vernon Adams up into the middle, and that's where Pete Robertson was waiting for.
6th sack of the season for Robertson. Back up on the line this time, at least to start. 2nd and 10. Adams near side, wide open. Couture's got some room down to the 30, all the way down to the 20, to the 10, trying to power his way in. Stopped at the 5. Huge game last week. Had a touchdown in similar fashion. Almost had one here. 45 for Javon Couture.
Great protection up front. Just 4-man pressure, but the Lions are going to hold off the 4 men, give Vernon Adams a chance to scan the field from his right to left and find Javon Couture all by himself right on the sideline.
88 yards last week for Couture. And
Best
a touchdown.
game of the season. Best game of the season for him.
BC into the red zone. First time today. Just under 60% on the season, finishing in these opportunities. Adams, that one bouncing up in the air, eventually is hauled in just outside the 5 and then pushed back down to the 5, going back to Couture. One bounced off a helmet. Couture managed to get his hands on it.
There's Couture coming in like he's going to play that tight end spot. We've seen him there many times. Jaden Dalkey, the safety, is allowed to go free off the edge on a safety blitz. That was very dangerous by Couture to tip it up like that with riders everywhere.
Yeah, off his left hand and then eventually corralled it. 2nd and goal from the Rider 6. Adams in the pocket, looking to the corner for Rhymes. Broken up. What a play by Amari Henderson. Looked like VA was going to drop one in for Rhymes in his return to the lineup, but Henderson had other ideas.
Couple of interceptions on the season for number 16. Amari Henderson is in a bit of a trail position here on the corner route. Nice smooth route run by Dom Rhymes, but he recovers with the ball in the air, doesn't give up on it. Left hand out. Nice knockdown.
Sean White for a chip shot here early. Blamed us for a miss last week. Said we jinxed him. I don't think he misses this one. Whew. Didn't want to jinx him again. Sean White back on track. And BC on top, 3-0. They were looking for more dangerous weapon. Rhymes back in the lineup and just played perfectly by the second-year rider, Amari Henderson.
You know, leading into that game last week, he had avoided the interception, had a couple in the game, but also threw 2 touchdowns, and this one to Sam Emelis. And Sam Emelis, you think back to August when these two teams played Mosaic Stadium, he had his I have arrived game in that one.
Starting on their 40, they will hand it off and take a loss on the first offensive play of the game into the hands of Hickson in the starting offense.
Philip Blake will start at left guard. Second start for him. Blake out of Baylor, 8-year veteran in the Canadian Football League. And there's Sam Emelis. Wanted to highlight him because of that outstanding game. Over 100 yards receiving against the Lions in August. And just some superhero-style catches in that one.
He was outstanding. A couple of highlight reels put him on the top 50 plays of the year. Dolegala gets this away, hit as he throws, and it is complete on the far side of the field to Bain. But Dolegala took a heavy shot as he released that ball. 8 yards for Sean Bain, but it will bring up third down. 2-0 here for the Riders.
Boy, that 4-man pressure from BC got after it. I mean, they were together on the snap of the ball, just collapsing the pocket. Forced a quick throw by Dolegala. He got it out there, but short of the first down.
Horsack called into duty from the 35. A shorter kick, taken on the far sideline, just 36 yards. And finding a little bit of space here is Williams, and the race is on. Flag on the far side of the field as Williams takes this down to the 50. Horsack trying to wrap him up, and eventually the punter will take him down. But as I mentioned, a flag just inside the 50 on a 41-yard return from Terry Williams. How about Horsack hanging in there? Managed to track him down.
During the return, holding. BC number 84. 10-yard penalty. The first down.
A round of boos. Good crowd here at BC Place as that one will get brought all the way back. Last week, coming away with a 37-29 win at Commonwealth in Edmonton.
Well, and this was the example you were talking about, Dustin, when Vernon Adams threw a couple picks in that game, but bounced back immediately, and that's what he's done all season long. I think it's an MOP type of character trait, because bad things happen all the time in football. You have to bounce back. It's the next play mentality, and he certainly has it this year.
BC has scored 37, 41, and 34 points in their last 3 games. Adams near side. That is complete, just outside the 30 to Rhymes. I'd like to welcome everybody joining us here on TSN 1 after the Bombers come back and get by the Argos. BC now trying to keep pace with Winnipeg after that win, and we've got a spectacular race. Oh, and who plays next week?
Yeah, the Bombers are here.
Winnipeg and BC. Cannot wait for that. Lucky Whitehead out in the flats. Short pickup on first down. Not have a catch last week in Edmonton.
You see that first play of this drive, though, was to Dominic Rhymes, and to get him back involved, get that first catch. Rhymes missed the last 6 games and 8 total this season. Just making sure he was right before they brought him back in the lineup. But you want to get that first one under your belt.
2nd and 9. Pressure up the middle, bounced up in the air and will fall incomplete around the 20. Some pressure in the face of Vernon Adams, who has that another weapon added to the lineup in Rhymes. Just ridiculous riches, this offense, but the defense for the Riders got it done here.
Yeah, I was going to say DeMarcus Christmas, he's going to get around his man and get his hands up. He got both hands up right in the throwing lane. Really good timing by the Big D tackle.
First knockdown of the season for Christmas. Flintoff, high kick. Alford watches, bounces at the 38. goes off to the middle of the field. That's where Alford will pick it up. And he is wrapped up immediately right around the Rider 35. Settle in. We should have a good one from Vancouver. BC Lions last week against a guy that's not really easy to track down.
Real good game plan by Ryan Phillips against Trey Ford and the Edmonton Elks last week. Got 7 sacks. Matthew Betts had a couple, add to his total 14 on the season, which leads all defensive linemen and defenders in the CFL. Closing in on a Canadian record.
46 sacks as a team. Good for second in the league. Golagala in the pocket, trying to escape. He will not. On cue, the BC Lions defense gets there. Halatic with the sack. That's 1 in 4 consecutive games for the former UBC Thunderbird. A huge part of this defense.
Well, he's trying to catch Matthew Betts. I'm not sure if he's going to get there, but he's got 14 on the season. And Manuel Ricumba will play that linebacker spot, the tweener spot, but they thought it might be Quincy Moget coming down, but last second scratch was Jalen Edwards-Cooper, so Green will play there at the wide side corner. Moget back at safety.
Schaefer Baker gets up after the catch, was not touched, stays on his feet down to the 40, now to the 30, the 20, 15, pushed out of bounds at the 10, and there will be a discussion on this play as no whistle went. Baker got up and took off, and the officials allowed him to work his way all the way down the field for a huge 68-yard gain.
Full pressure, blocked up nicely, and it doesn't matter of whether he was touched down by contact. I don't think he was. Schaefer Baker was down to catch the ball, but wasn't touched. Let's take a look one more time. Was he touched when he catches the ball there? See, he's down right now, but not touched yet.
There, yeah, right on the head.
The right knee was still on the ground when he was touched on the head.
The receiver was down by contact at the 45-yard line.
Marcus Sales was like, whoa, what happened?
I think they marked it at the wrong 45. They're bringing it back down to the Rider 45, which is where he was contacted right at the catch. So it'd be a 12-yard pickup instead of the 68. And it'll be 3rd and 1, or it should be 3rd and 1.
Give you one more look. And it was close, very close, but the right knee looked like it was down when Sales touched his helmet. Made his return back in August against the Lions off the injured list, had a touchdown in that game.
So it will be a 3rd and 1 situation with this ball at the 45. And they will trot Pipkin out here to
Timer,
attempt.
can you please reset the clock to 7:34?
Attempt to pick up the first down. Got it marked 2nd and 1 here, but I'm pretty sure it should be 3rd one. There we go. Now it's set up far side of the field, 3rd and 1. Pipkin slides up. Boy, this would be a huge stop for the BC Lions defense. Looking to get a turnover on downs. Pipkin pushing ahead. And it looks like he should have it.
I don't think there's any question. He got to the marker, and they won't even measure this one. But a big play taken off the board, split second, game of inches and split seconds. And Sales touching Kean Schaefer Baker just before that right knee came off the turf, took, what, 40 yards away from that gain.
Sales playing with fire there a little bit. He knew he got him. The play did continue. Press set at the 47. We'll toss it out to Hickson. He's got nowhere to go. That'll be a loss. On the ground once again. And he lost 3 on his first attempted carry and lost another one here.
Yeah, this play is not successful for the Riders, but I like the imagination. I like the innovation here. Just a different way to try and get Frankie Hickson the ball. A little quick pitch to get him outside, and didn't work that time. Go back to that one.
Team leader in tackles, Halatic there again to do the job. 2nd and 11. Golagala down the field, and that is broken up. Rugamba working against Schaefer Baker, and he's able to lock him down.
Manuel Rugamba was in a cover 2-man concept, which is 2 free over the top. So you're protected against a deep ball, and you can trail the receiver. So he gets in behind Schaefer Baker and is able to knock that down because he's trailing. Basically, Dolagala would have to throw it through 33 to get it to Baker.
Williams awaits the kick from Korsak. Rookie out of Rutgers. Williams brought one back 41 earlier in the quarter. Had it wiped out due to a penalty. This is a much deeper kick this time. It's going to back Williams up. In fact, it's going to bounce at the 2 and all the way into the end zone. 67-yard kick from Korsak. Visitors on the board. Schaefer Baker thought he was good. Got up. Not so much. Sails just in time to deny him.
It needed to happen, and he felt some relief when Rick Campbell said the same thing. He knew it too, came to him after and said, look, we need to sit you down for an extended period of time so when you get back in the lineup, you can be 100%. He was dealing with a right knee injury, sprains to the midfoot of both feet, and now all of that is gone. He feels just great. He's played in just 6 games, still has 5 touchdowns. Beyond that, not a lot of statistical milestones right now because he can't reach them, so it's all about one goal, the Grey Cup.
He's coming back to a team that certainly has that potential. Completion here to Hatcher. You look at what BC has. Lucky Whitehead's over 500 yards. Hatcher's over 900. Katoy's over 500. McInnes is over 500. Hollins is over 900. And now you add Rhymes to this. It's almost unfair for the rest of the league. Toss it out. And they got this guy as well. Nice little move to get down to the 49 more yards for the BC offense in the hands of Mizell.
Interesting, when they both got out of the Ferrari, it just looked to me like Lucky Whitehead is way more comfortable with those type of entrances than Dominic Rhymes is.
Kind of got convinced to come along for the ride, eh?
But you're right. I mean, what a talented receiving core. Javon Katoy in there as well, and Justin McInnes, who has become a great red zone player. That corner route, jump ball.
McInnes having a career year here, the former Rider top 10 pick. Tom Davis picking up the first down for BC.
Well, you have to play true if you're playing defense against this receiving core. You have to play the 65 yards of width and from wherever the ball is to basically the end zone, because Vernon Adams can get it to any one of these targets. And remember, we're putting Dominic Rhymes in that. We need a bigger board. Get it a little wider because he is back, and in his 6 games that he played, scored 5 touchdowns.
On Katoy, too, who's over 550 yards on the year. You need a really big board if you're going to include that monster of a man. Adams gets it away. Complete just outside the 30. It's Hatcher again. 3rd catch of the game for Hatcher. First down, BC.
Vernon Adams doesn't get enough credit for his managing of the pocket. He's got quick feet. He can take off and run. He'll do that occasionally, but he can manage the pocket, find a little bit of room, create his own throwing lane. Did it there.
Already completions to 5 different players here in the first quarter for Adams. He's got 3 receivers to his wide side right. Lucky Whitehead to his left out in the flat. Adams keeps it near side, and that is intercepted along the near sideline. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting discussion. Did Hatcher hang on to that? It looked like Moncrief had it in his hands as they headed out of bounds. This might just be ruled incomplete either way.
They haven't made a call yet on the ruling on the field. You're right.
Did it not look like Moncrief had it?
Yeah, Derek Moncrief going out of bounds. Vernon Adams is trying to rush the play call to get this next play snapped.
Well, they have ruled it an interception on the field. Here's another. This coming right at you.
I think Moncrief has possession there, and then Hatcher rips it out once they're out of bounds.
Well, that's an extremely close call. At full speed, it looked like Moncrief had it.
Manny Moncrief, I love you. Mom, I love you. Rest in peace,
Beat
Papa
Moncrief's
Joe.
first interception of the year if it stands. But let's take a couple more looks at this, because I'm not sure anybody had full possession before they went out of
The
bounds.
previous play is under review by the command center.
Yeah, you just heard it's under review, so they'll take another look at it and get the call right. But I thought Moncrief had it there, and as Hatcher was on that white stripe, well, you know what? Hatcher had his left hand under there too.
Not sure this could be ruled a catch either.
Well, if neither of them had control, they're out of bounds when they did. So they're out of bounds. That control by Hatcher at the end of it is irrelevant because they're both out of bounds. So,
all right, let's get to the ruling from the command center.
After review by the command center, we have an incomplete pass.
Moncrief will have to wait for his first interception of the season. I think you give a lot of credit to Hatcher here for remaining in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to keep his hand underneath the ball there and just keep moving it around, so the officials saw that Moncrief didn't have possession of it. Playing that halfback spot. Jason Shivers, the defensive coordinator, told us this week that whenever he has an injury, somebody gets nicked, he goes to Derek Moncrief. He says, he's my get out of jail free card. I just say, hey, Derek, I need you to play a different position if you could this week. And Derek's is absolutely.
Put him as a defensive tackle. Really prove your point here. Adams to the end zone again. Far side. Henderson hurt. Gates. Rhymes again. And that is incomplete again. They are attacking Amari Henderson, and a nice battle between him and Rhymes here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and Amari Henderson's got 2 plays against him. See the number 2 receiver there, little Dom Rhymes on a little bit of a lean into the middle down the seam. And this time, actually, Amari Henderson's even closer than he was the first time. He had to make up some room there. This time he's right on the heels of Rhymes.
Sean White hit from 13 earlier. This one from 29 right down the middle, and he's 2 for 2 here in the first quarter. Tune in for tomorrow's NCAA College Football Game of the Week between LSU and Ole Miss. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on TSN+. Well, the Lions have managed to drive the ball a little bit here in the first quarter, but have had to settle for a couple of Sean White field goals so far as he shakes every hand he possibly can along that sideline. Coming into the game, 92.5% on the year for Sean White. 4 options out to the left for Dolegala. That's where he's going to go and try to set up some blockers here for Schaefer Baker. Works it up towards the 45.
Well, it was his first start for Jake Dolegala when he played against the BC Lions. First start this year. He did get that start last year when it was the COVID game in Winnipeg. But first start this year, and boy, was it a nice one. He was fitting that ball into very small windows. Big game at 239. And maybe most importantly, no interceptions.
Real eye-opener in that game, Dolegala. 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. 2 and 3 in his 5 games as a starter. Down the field here, almost intercepted. Marcus Sales looking for his first of the year. And it was waiting for him as Dolegala tried to gun one in to Samuel Emelis.
Well, Emelis almost had it. He had a shot at it, but Dolegala didn't see Sales from that outside spot. He has the flat, but because he didn't really have a threat or he was reading Dolegala, he just cut underneath that. But Emelis had a shot at it. Corner route, and watch after it's tipped. Almost picked it up through the tip.
Wouldn't surprise me with some of the balls that Emelis has hauled in this year. Here's Korsak again, letting another one fly from pretty much the same place on the field as his other 2. Williams hesitating, trying to find it, opening, not going to happen. Takes it back to about the 20-yard line on the return.
You're right about.
During the return, holding BC number 90, 10-yard penalty, first down.
I'll back him up another 10.
Couple penalties on the return game is putting Vernon Adams in some tough field position, but he is driving the field. We'll look at the time of possession after quarter one, and it'll probably lean big time to the BC Lions. However, when you're on the road, keep it a one-possession game, take it a one-possession game into the fourth, and then steal one. That's got to be the plan for Saskatchewan. Especially they've been struggling a little bit on the road as well.
Yeah, on the road so far this year, just 2 and 5 are the Riders. Lately, teams have just been running the ball all over Saskatchewan. Just one carry for Mizell in this game. It did go for 9 yards. Adams from his own end zone. A deep one down the field. The Hatcher drops it in just inside the 40, and he takes it all the way out to the 44 for BC. A big chunk for Vernon Adams, and he's already over 160 yards passing here in the first quarter.
Didn't mention it in the intros, but Jaden Dahlke is back in the lineup at safety, and that time Hatcher crosses his face at the safety position. He had to get on his horse and try and get over there, number 38, and he just got layered. Deep crossing route when Vernon Adams had all that time. That's almost impossible to cover.
85 yards already in this game for Hatcher. Adams in trouble now, shovels it ahead. And that will be blown down on an incomplete pass. Got rid of it just in time. Albright, among others, with the pressure.
Riders thought they may get Anthony Lanier back. Got Micah Johnson on the outside, and they brought Larry Dean from the linebacker position on that blitz to help with Albright.
12 tackles last week for Larry Dean, closing in on another 100 tackle season. It would be his 3. Only 6 other guys in the league have done that. Final play of the opening quarter here. BC on top 6-1. 4-man pressure. Adams over the middle, down the field, wide open completion on the Riders' side of the field to Rhymes, his second catch in his return to the lineup. It's a big one. BC Lions moving the ball well, do have a lead, but have had to settle for a couple of field goals so far here at home. Friday Night Football, BC and Saskatchewan. Controlled that first quarter.
Yeah, I think if you're Saskatchewan, you're looking at the score and you're saying, good, we're a possession away and have really not produced any offense just yet. The time of possession almost doubled for the BC Lions in that quarter, but 2 plays went against the Riders that were big ones. Kean Schaefer-Baker down by contact. I think it was the right call, but down by contact. If not for that one, he makes the big play, and then Derek Moncrief fighting with Hatcher on the sideline in that interception, or it would be 3-1 rather than 6-1.
Road team hanging around for now, trying to snap a 3-game slide. BC on the other side, having won 3 in a row. Both these teams a lot on the line here tonight. Adams under pressure again, trying to get away. He will not. Eventually tracked down and taken down by C.J. Rivas, his second sack of the season.
Yeah, it's one thing to try and make some moves on D linemen. It's another to try and do it on defensive backs, and this just starts to collapse around them. They send 2 extra, so they got 6-man pressure. Looked like VA was going to escape for a second there, and then 22 closed the distance in a hurry. We are Marshall, getting it done.
2nd and long. Back to Hatcher, up to the 40. 5th catch of the game for number 4, and that'll bring up 3rd down and a longer field goal attempt for Sean White.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a throw well short of the mark, well short of the marker, I should say, the first down marker, but it did put Sean White into field goal range.
It will be a 46-yarder just inside the left hash. He's perfect from 40 and in so far this season. And that one, like it started left, but he put a little English on it, spun it right back in. 3 field goals for Sean White here in the first half, and BC leading 9-1.
It looked like Dustin Nielsen driving a tee shot into the wind in Edmonton.
Those stay left.
And look at this guy.
They don't come back.
Look at this guy getting it done. 14 sacks on the season. That's 30% of his team's sacks and 64 defensive pressures. Getting after it. I mean, let's just nominate him right now for top defensive player, top Canadian in the CFL.
That type of season, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, when they just let him go, he is a handful. Dolagala, first down, second first down of the game for the Riders. This one back into the hands of Sean Bain, his second catch of the ball game.
Well, we ask Ryan Phillips, the defensive coordinator, about Matthew Betts. Just loves how he is just a wrecking machine. I mean, getting after people, chasing down running backs from the backside.
Emelis with the completion. Does he remind you of anybody?
Well, in fact, he said he reminds him of the Juggernaut.
Go inside, get the boy, and kill it.
With pleasure.
Here comes Betts, barreling through everything. And I think if you talk to offensive linemen and quarterbacks this year, it'd be a pretty apt comparison, wouldn't it? Get a helmet like that on him, too. Juggernaut straight to the tent at the end of the play. Incompletion here. And that'll bring up second down for the Riders, trying to get something going offensively as Betts trots back out there.
Well, 64 pressures. I mean, that alone, you know, that forces the interceptions. That forces the quick throws. And I mentioned, you know, sometimes it's not the sack, although he's got a bunch of those. He'll catch running backs from behind on the backside.
That engine is just constantly running in high gear.
Right through walls.
Dolagala has some room to take off, decides to dump it off instead. That'll be enough for a first down, a wise decision into the hands of the rookie Jarrett Stearns.
A little pressure from Betts there, but handled well by Jake Dolagala, who's going to just manage the pocket here. Climbs up in it. And sometimes as a defender, you get up the field too far and open up a little bit of a lane. But he did it with his eyes open and just drops it off.
Dolagala this time will not get away. Taken down at the 45. Ducked to avoid one oncomer. And the second guy got him. Didn't have a ton of time this time, did he?
I'm trying to look at who got there. There's extra pressure coming from Josh Woods. Rotating into the lineup. Bolacombo is back and dressed again. Missed a couple of games due to injury, but Woods going to still see some playing time. He was involved.
Sadiq and Tibutabaye work together on that tackle. Dolagala near side. Jones bobbles it, and it's intercepted over the shoulder of Tevin Jones and into the waiting arms of Gary Peters for his 4th takeaway of the season. Oh, Jones is going to want this one back. Jones had it up over his shoulder into the waiting arms of Gary Peters. On a regular basis and presented Gary Peters with this blanket earlier this week. Had it in the stall earlier today and brought him some good luck on the interception right here.
Well, the families have become very, very close last couple of years. Gary Peters put the blanket on immediately. Great honor to receive that.
It's a nice tie-in, considering he blankets receivers around the league all season. Has been for a long
all the
time.
kids at Kamloops, this for y'all, man. That's why I wear this, man. Thank y'all.
Raising awareness on the impact of the residential schools. Truth and Reconciliation Day tomorrow. One shirt day today.
2nd and 5. Adams down the field. And he pops it right back in there for Rhymes, who looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
Well, he's still running smooth. I mean, that's the thing that Dominic Rhymes brings. Just in and out of his breaks like butter. Just so smooth as he runs his routes. Doesn't look like he's separating and then all of a sudden you're 2-3 yards away. Moncrief makes a tackle to limit the gain, but nice route running from 19.
Adams to his right. Now to his running back. Lost the handle on it, got it back. And eventually is scooped up by Nick Marshall as Mizell avoided disaster.
One of the things that Vernon Adams wants to clean up, obviously, are some of the interceptions. And, you know, the way he can do that is just taking these throws. Rather than try and make the big chunk throw, even when the pocket is collapsing sometimes. I know Mizell lost the handle, but sometimes make those dump throws and you go into 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 7 and regroup.
2nd and 8 is where they are here. 4 options out to the wide side left for Adams. 5-man pressure from the Riders. Adams throws it away as he feels the heat. That's another way to avoid an interception.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good decision.
Live to play another play, I guess you could say. And now Flintoff will come out. Kick it back to the Riders. Mario Alford trots back. 3 returns on the season already for Super Mario. Flintoff will drive this one hard and low. Bounces at the 16. Alford takes it there. And he is scooped up at the 15. Nowhere to go on the return for Alford this time. BC Lions on a beautiful night in Vancouver, lead 9-1. Program, isn't it?
Tune in and see what it's all about.
How about those jerseys? Something about that just doesn't seem right. Nola Gallo, 1st and 10 for the Rider 15. In trouble again. Flag as he lets it go. And that one falls incomplete out around the 35. This looks like a hold against the Riders. Looking to go to Sean Bain again.
Holding. Saskatchewan 61. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
That's Council, Brandon Council up at the right tackle position going against Matthew Betts. And you know that we showed you the stats for Betts, the 14 sacks, the 64 pressures. I'd love to know how many times he's drawn a holding call.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
An absolute nightmare. 2nd down. Hickson out of the backfield. He's got a 1st down and more. Takes it out to the 35. Big pickup, 20 yards. Longest play of the game for the visitors.
Sometimes show blitz gets you in trouble, and Josh Woods, the linebacker, lines up as he's going to show blitz here in the middle and then try to get out there and cover Frankie Hickson, and just to the right of your screen he blows a tire. That's why Hickson is open over the middle.
Hickson, 9 carries, 77 yards last week. Just a couple of official carries in this game for -4. We'll come back around, and there's a little bit of space now for Sean Bain. Bain will take it to midfield, down inside the 50, and eventually taken down by Rugamba. Now that is the biggest play of the game for the offense. 30 yards for Bain.
Sean Bain gets a couple of helpers here from his teammates. Tevin Jones going to have a nice block. It's 3 receivers to the field, and he's going to catch this bubble screen. Now key blocks by Tevin Jones. Kean Schaefer-Baker opens up the lane.
One of the best games we've seen from Bain in quite some time here in the first half. Dolagala, quick completion to Schaefer-Baker to the 40 for a pickup of 5 yards. Well, this is what happens when your defense is able to hold the BC Lions to 3 field goals so far, despite the fact that the BC Lions have been driving the ball with relative ease. The Riders marching here, still right in this football game.
Absolutely, not giving up points. Giving up yards is one thing.
Dolagala, 9 of 14 for 111 yards. Interception that Jones would like to have back. This time they'll hand it off, pushing ahead right to the 1st down marker. Maladic is there to wrap up Hickson But he should be close to a first down for the Riders.
Yeah, I would suggest close enough here that
He's going to be inches away.
Craig Dickinson will go ahead and go for it here. Third down.
Pipkin into the game. Needs about a football, really. Not much more than that to keep this drive alive as we move towards the latter stages of the first half. Pipkin up under center, pushing ahead. He's got it. First down for the Riders as they try to pick the pace offensively in a couple of big plays on this drive. 20 to Hickson, 30 to Bain. And when you can get the big chunks like that, give you some confidence as a quarterback, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely, because, you know, both of those throws were high percentage throws. I mean, not like you're trying to throw a 20-yard dig into traffic and thread the needle. You know, those are bubble screens, safe throws to the outside and let the receivers do the work, but key blocks up front. The receivers sometimes have to get their nose dirty and block. See if they can finish this drive.
1st and 10 from the BC 34. Dolagala complete, Emlis to the 10, now down to the 5, trying to push towards the end zone. He'll be stopped just short. They'll mark him just inside the 2, and another big chunk for Dolagala through the air.
Taking off from that wide spot and layering across the field. Big one. And on the doorstep.
32 yards to Emlis, following up with the 20 to Hickson and the 30 to Bain, and the Riders, the best they've looked so far here on Friday Night Football. Pipkin looking to finish this drive into the game from the 2, pushing ahead, trying to dive over into the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Riders. Pipkin finishes it off for his 4th major of the season, and Riders fans in attendance happy with what they just saw.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first of all, again, defense giving up chunks of yards, but not points, holding the Lions to field goals, and this is where it pays off. Your offense has some more time to get on track. They finally get that traction they needed. High percentage throws, get the ball outside in space, and finish the drive with short yardage and Antonio Pipkin.
8-play, 95-yard drive, 4 minutes, 15 seconds. And just like that, the Riders are right in the thick of it here with the BC Lions on the road in Vancouver. Bother out to make it a 1-point game. And that is exactly what he does. Quarterbacks combined to get this thing done. Dolagala attacks the BC Lions defense through the air, and then Pipkin finishes it off on the ground.
Group right there.
Big second down to conversion to Frankie Hickson deep in their own end, and then got going with the Bain move, the Bain catch. 8 plays, 95 yards, over 4 minutes for Jake Dolagala. That's their best drive of the night.
Lions still on top. Have moved the ball very well. Just had to settle for a trio of field goals from White. Williams takes this at his 15. Back to the 30, busts through at the 40. Williams cuts inside midfield. What a return by Terry Williams. And the BC Lions are back in business, and Williams is fired up. That's good field position for Vernon Adams Jr., who's having an excellent season. Look at what he's projected to do this year. Best of his career. For more on that, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, guys, Vernon came in just 400 yards away from a career high in passing, 453 yards away from the 4,000-yard mark. All of that matters to him. He knows exactly where he sits in terms of yardage totals, the league quarterback leaders, and he's been down this road before. You got to go back to 2019 when he was in Montreal. He was 58 yards away from 4,000. He took this hit in a game in Ottawa, and his coach, Kahari Jones, immediately pulled him from the game, and he pleaded to Kahari to let him stay in the game. The coach said, no chance. We need you for the playoffs. So barring injury, you know he's going to get it at some point. He wants to do it at home in front of friends and family if possible. He's already over 200 yards on the nights here, so we'll see if he gets it here tonight. As for the interceptions, he said last week, look, guys, this is getting old, but he also has some perspective. There's 3 guys that are in that 3,400-yard range and over 20 touchdowns. All of them have at least 11 interceptions, so for some part, he does know it comes with the territory. Still wants to improve, though.
And over 200 yards already. Nice start to this game for Adams to go back on the ground here. And this one taken ahead. That'll be a first down for BC as they re-engage Mizell.
That big return by Terry Williams. They see Brett Lowther going into the tent. He was trying to make the tackle after Williams broke free here, and he just landed awkwardly on his arm here, cut inside, and then reached right for sort of his shoulder, maybe shoulder or arm. But they went back and gave him some medical attention on the side, and he's gone in the tent. We'll see if Brett Lowther can get back in this game.
On the ground this time, nowhere to go. And that'll bring up second and just inside 10 for the Lions. That takes us inside 3 minutes at BC Place. We got a close one between the Lions and Riders.
Ferrari was nice. You should see Lapo's Lamborghini.
Yes.
We'll show you a half. Won't we?
Lucky.
I always knew Lapo was a Lambo guy.
Yeah.
Just makes sense.
Up the wings, right?
Adams' spin move kind of bounced in one of his own offensive linemen and ended up running out of space before the Riders were there to contain him.
That closed quickly. There was a running lane for Vernon Adams right down Main Street, and that shut down in a heartbeat. I think it was DeMarcus Christmas with another play. He's made a couple here in this game in the first half. Well, no, actually, I think it might have been Albright, Christian Albright. Slid underneath and took that lane away.
Third sack in 2 games for Albright. Sean White called back into work again for a 4th time tonight. This one from 50 on the nose, and that is up. And he knocks it through. 4 for 4. A perfect night for White so far. That one is stiff as test. But he answers the call.
No, he's been great all year. I mean, his misses, and there's only been 3 of them were 2 of them were over 50, 50-yarder, 52-yarder, and the third was a 49-yarder. So all challenging kicks that have been missed, and again, only 3. He's been, think about you could pick one guy, the game on the line. It might be the veteran, 37 years old, 15 years in the CFL.
Just over 2 minutes to work for the Riders. Oligala changes the angle on that ball nicely. Finds Hickson. Hickson breaks a tackle, a couple of them, and gets that ball awfully close to midfield.
Look what Kelly Jeffrey's doing with Frankie Hickson. We saw in that long drive, the 9-player, he got him out of the backfield and got him in space. And when he did, that's when Josh Woods blew a tire, if you remember that one. This time they're going to line him up almost like a tight end, and he just shoots to the flat. A nice 12-yard gain with a little run after the catch.
This time on the ground. Just the 4th carry of the ball game for Hickson. This one will go for 4 yards.
Yeah, it was a good adjustment on the throw. That's a great look at it to see.
Just that little touch over the top.
Yeah, just to feed it to Hickson. He had the pressure in his face, and there's that run right up the middle, the very next play.
2nd and 6 from the BC 54. Oligala backpedals a bit. Far side. Jones goes up and gets it, working against Gary Peters. And this time, Jones with the sure hands and hangs on.
Yeah, secure the catch first. Last time he took a peek, and when he did, he lost control. It rolled down his back. Gary Peters had the interception. He's out there at the wideout spot, right on the numbers, right on the C. Nice route, pushing up the field, making it look like he's going deep. Peters wasn't in bad position, but Dolegala got it right out to that sideline.
Timed well there, wasn't it? Dropped it in at the precise moment he needed to. Back on the ground to Hickson. Takes it inside the 40. Sadiq is there.
Talking to Kian Schaefer-Baker about Jake Dolegala and playing with Dolegala, and Baker said, you know, if you're a receiver with this guy and you have a deep route, don't stop running. Like, there's no spot on the field where you're running down the field thinking, you know, he can't make it this far.
I've gone too far.
Yeah, I've gone too far. Just keep on running.
We saw him heave one about 80 yards.
Absolutely.
Earlier this season. 3 options to his left. That's where he looks. That's where he throws, and that is over the head of Schaefer-Baker.
But a little too much on that fastball.
Baker had room.
Keep in mind, Baker's 6'4". So this is just that's one that Dolegala wants back.
Sailed a bit on him.
Yep.
Here's Loeffner. He's back out there. We mentioned on that last Williams return, he was in some significant pain. Looked like his shoulder is the issue. They took him back, put him in the tent, brought him back out here. They're going to dial him up for a 48-yard attempt. 84.2% on the season. Father from 48. And that one is tucked in there as well. Ooh, and he is toughing this one out.
Well, you need all the body to have the torque to make these type of kicks. I mean, this is no chip shot. He has to really lean into it, and the torque of his body and lower body to go through the football and make this kick is big, and you could see the reaction right back to that right shoulder. He is in some pain.
We will monitor his situation throughout the rest of this game, but he steps up for his team there. And once again, matches Sean White at the other end and back to a 1-point ball game. 58 seconds remaining in the quarter. BC on their own 40, lots of time to at least get back within field goal range for Sean White. Adams, they'll roll him out to the right here. Hatcher pushes it up the sidelines, and that'll put him over 100 yards in this ball game for Hatcher. That's his 4th 100-yard game of the season.
Boy, they take turns. I mean, one night it's Hatcher's night, one night it's Alexander Holland's night. Whitehead had his sort of breakout game of the season against Saskatchewan in August when he had his first 100-yard game of the year. Depends on what the defense is doing as to where Vernon Adams is going to go with the football. And don't forget Justin McGinnis against Ottawa in the red zone.
8 yards to Hatcher there. 2nd and 2. Adams loads one up. Another completion just inside the 50 as he goes back to Hatcher one more time. 7 catches in this ball game for Hatcher already.
Working on Moncrief again, playing in about 3, 4, 5 different positions this season. It's a new one at halfback.
Adams at 224 yards. Exactly half of them have gone to Hatcher. Now Adams over the middle, and that one incomplete. Looking for Hollins, who has not had a catch yet tonight. Let's take another look at the work of Hatcher so far this season.
Yeah, this is 4th 100-yard game, and we're just at halftime. So on pace for his best game of the year, where that was against Calgary back in August. 7th in the CFL in receiving yards coming into tonight. Climb up that ladder a little bit more before it's over.
When he really burst onto the scene last year, that the Lions had found another dangerous weapon. Adams over the middle, down to the 35 with 28 seconds on the clock.
Nice catch by Rhymes. Hey, back to Hatcher for 1 second. Remember in Edmonton, in that Edmonton game, They took a big 21-7 lead early in that game and then started to give it away, got a little bit lax, didn't play with the same intensity. Hatcher had a few words with the entire team on the sideline, get them fired up to get them refocused, and it worked.
Clock ticking inside 20. Adams, 3 to his left, goes over the middle, down the field. Hatcher end zone. Touchdown, BC. Late in the half, and what a half for Hatcher as he's got his 6th touchdown of the season.
VA, big play VA was on point in that drive. Changing the launch point, finding number 4, and feeding him the football. Deep in the pocket this time, inside on Moncrief. And part of the Hatcher night is got to be part of the change in the secondary. Not to be hard on Derek Moncrief.
But he's been working on Moncrief a lot.
But that's a tough position to put him in back there. Take a look at where Hatcher lines up on this. There's 3 receivers to that side of the field. Hatcher is right inside. And he is going against Moncrief, who gets his body turned to the sideline and then tries to do a blind turn, and by then it's too late. Inside route by Hatcher. Ball right where it has to be. In stride and away goes.
5 plays, 70 yards, 46 seconds. BC Lions not messing around here. Vernon Adams Jr. has 276 yards in the first half.
Well, last week he was, what, 25 or 35 yards short of his 6th 300-yard game in a row.
That's for you, baby. I love you. That's for you, Mom. I can't wait to see you.
That would have tied a record set by the Lions by Doug Flutie.
Kick this away from Mario Alford.
You're over 1,000 now. You're over 1,000.
So, Bug, that's for you. Mom, I love you.
Hatcher
Y'all know what it is now.
puts himself over 1,000 yards on the season. He'll certainly be a point of discussion for Kate, Milt, Ches, and Lapo in the Lambeau at halftime. 148 yards on 8 catches. Excellent news if you have him in your fantasy lineup this weekend. And the Riders will take a knee and head into the room trailing 19-11 in this ball game, but certainly still in the thick of it.
Oh, no question. Yeah, again, you know, you're on the road. You want to keep it a 1-possession game. Saw a really good drive by Dolagala that ended in a touchdown that closed it to a game to 1 point, but Vernon Adams on point on that last drive, and Keon Hatcher having a night.
Hatcher, 8 catches on 11 targets for 148 yards and a touchdown. Adams has 17 completions on the game, 8 of them to Hatcher. Rhymes has been worked back in here as well. He's got 4 catches for 67 in his return to the lineup. But Keon Hatcher, huge half. He's with our far hand leading the Riders 19-11. Derek Moncrief on that Riders defense is with our far hand logic.
Derek, 276 yards passing for Vernon Adams in that first half, almost 150 to Keon Hatcher. How do you tighten up against them?
Oh, we just got to play aggressive football with good eyes, good technique, and, you know, we just got to finish this game right here.
Overall, other than that final touchdown, you did a pretty good job of keeping them out of the end zone. It's still a 1-score game. Do you feel good about where you're at right now, given that?
Yeah, no doubt. We just got to keep plugging. It's next play up, and I'm ready to finish this ball game.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Next play up, never a bad recipe. What do you think the message is from that man at halftime?
Yeah, they're right in this game. I mean, a 1-possession game, and can build on what was a real good second quarter drive by Jake Dolagala. Went 8 plays, 95 yards over 4 minutes, ended in a touchdown, so they know they can accomplish that. I would say you're on the road. You're against a very good team with 10 wins coming in. Not a bad position to be in 1-possession game.
A team at home that's been excellent so far this year. 5-1 the BC Lions. They're also 9-0 when they lead at half. The Riders have come back and won one game when trailing at half, and they will have the ball to start. Second half of our double dip on a Friday night. And we enter the third quarter here. Mario Alford trying to stretch it out. Nowhere to go. What a play down the field by Josh Archibald.
Great tackle, because you don't want Mario Alford out and around the edge. He gets outside and contain. Recumbo was there too, as sort of secondary, but Archibald cut him off.
Selly on special teams.
He was dancing like us at that Friday night football.
To the tune, yeah. Dolegala starts here on his own 22. Has time. Near side, laying out for it. Beautiful catch by Schaefer Baker. Gonna go for about 8 on the play.
Yeah, I mentioned Schaefer Baker in August against this team. The Lions got his first taste coming off the injury list and scored a touchdown. His biggest game so far in his return was last week. Good talk with him this week. Preparation for this game, but protected the ball from touching the turf too with that right arm. Big catch.
Got 7 of 8 targets last week, 76 yards, and his second touchdown of the season. Still need a couple more. They'll go to Hickson. Hickson trying to push ahead. This will be close. Looks like they're going to mark it a first down.
Yeah, that Schaefer Baker playmaker. That really arrived in Ottawa. Didn't win the game. But some big plays by Schaefer Baker take you back to last year.
Big part of this receiving core with the Riders. Lots of talk about what's going on in Winnipeg and BC with their receivers, but Emilus, Bain, and Jones. Now Schaefer Baker, pretty formidable foes as well. Hickson again on the ground, maybe trying to establish something on the run here early in the second half. Just 2 yards on that carry.
Yeah, it's a good point you make. I mean, maybe the most underrated receiving core in the league is this one in Saskatchewan. I mean, BC Lions obviously get a lot of pub for theirs. They got a great group, but 5 of the top 10 receivers coming into this week are in this game tonight. 3 of them play for the Riders.
And they've done that with a rotating group of quarterbacks, right? 3 different quarterbacks have started at least 4 games for Saskatchewan this season. Dolegala under pressure, trying to escape a flag on the near sideline as he took off. Eventually, he was tracked down by David Menard.
Flag came out way late. He took off.
Illegal contact. BC number 6. 10-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
TJ Lee flagged for the illegal contact. Came out too late to be a hold, really.
I was going to say, yeah, he was already past the line of scrimmage almost, so it would have been a surprise if it was a holding call, but that penalty will give Dolegala a new set of downs.
He's at 175 yards through the air so far. Schaefer Baker, his favorite target. First down just inside his own 45. Gets this one away quickly. Waiting for it there on his knees was Emilus. 5 yards to Emilus, his 3rd catch of the game. Interesting stat there. The Riders being outscored in 7 consecutive second halves. And that would lead to them having surrendered so many points over this last stretch. Trying to generate points here on this opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Looking to snap a 3-game slide. Dolegala once again quickly gets it away. This time behind Hickson, and Hickson had some space. If that one could have got to him cleanly.
Yeah, you know what? Frankie Hickson just didn't look back in time. He came out of the backfield just to the left of your screen. He comes out of the backfield and he's looking down the field and then gets his head around. And by then it's too late to adjust to the ball. Dolegala wanted to throw it away from the inside. Got a little bit of pressure. Would have liked to throw it a little more accurately than that, but Hickson didn't get the head around quick enough.
3rd and 5. Korsak. Williams on the run, and this one flies all the way out of bounds. Vernon Adams, the BC Lions looking to keep pace. I feel like 276 yards in the first half is pretty good.
Yeah, just, outstanding in staying away from the interception. That was early first quarter to Javon Catoy, but Hatcher was the story. Almost 150 yards in the first half for Keon Hatcher. Dominic Rhymes getting his feet wet again after missing 6 games on the injury list.
First possession of this half starts on their own 10, and why not go back to what was working so well immediately to Keon Hatcher.
Well, and I'm watching this matchup to see if Derek Moncrief and how he's doing. He's been asked to play that short side halfback, and this has been the Hatcher matchup. So he tries to take away the inside and giving him room, especially after that post to end the first half that got to the end zone. Just let him catch that one in front of him.
Tack on 12 more for Hatcher. Closing in on his season high. He's at 160. Best he's done so far this year, 170. Adams on the run to his right. Down the field, missing the intended target. He was looking for Rhymes, and he just missed him. 2nd and 10.
Dominic Rhymes working through, getting on top of the safety in Jaden Dahlke, but he was underneath Robin. He had deep help from Nick Marshall. Did have a little window there. They'll have to get their timing back.
Lions are 6 for 12 on 2nd down. We'll need the full 10 here from their own 22. Mizell stands in next to VA. Now he's out into the flat. We'll try to drop it into him. Too much on that one, as he had Robertson lurking in the area, but it falls incomplete.
One thing that Jason Shivers, the defensive coordinator, we talked to him this week as well, and he wants to be a better tackling defense. I think they've shown that here tonight when they've had the opportunity, but he's talking about Moncrief and how he's his get out of jail free card. I'm watching the matchup. They're still putting Hatcher out there in the short side. They can move C.J. Rivas. We'll follow it throughout this second half.
Well, they have moved Rivas around this defense. That's true. Mario Alford, midfield. No further. As he was tripped up on the play. Dolagala still within striking distance of the Lions on the road, trying to snap 3-game losing streak.
The first quarter started out pretty slow. I don't think they had 30 yards of offense in the first quarter. But in that second, he got heated up. Had that long drive I already mentioned. Got Emelis involved. He likes to play against the BC Lions. And they found new ways to get Frankie Hickson out of the backfield and into the passing game.
Excellent starting field position on this drive from their own 53. Dolagala wastes no time, gets it away quickly. Incomplete. Rugamba is there to knock it away from Sean Bain Jr., who is looking for his 4th catch of the ball game.
You mentioned the quarterback shuffle in Saskatchewan due to injury, and Trevor Harris, who we all got our fingers crossed that will be back before the season is out. Mason Fine started when Trevor went down, and then he was injured, and he is now dressed, playing tonight for Shea Patterson.
Dolagala's job still in trouble here. A rough ride tonight. And look who it is.
Yeah, it's a juggernaut.
Number 15 on the season for Betts.
The juggernaut got it done again. Running through walls. That's what Ryan Phillips calls him. He calls him the juggernaut. They'll move him around. They'll play him inside at tackle sometimes. They'll move him outside, and he just straight through Furlan. That was a juggernaut-like rush.
Busted through that wall, didn't he? Furlan was trying to do as much as he could without taking a holding call there, wasn't he? Only so much. Familiar position here for Korsak. Seems like he's been punting it away from the 35 pretty much all night. Williams hustles over here, hauls it in after a 48-yard kick, back up the near sideline. And he is taken down on the play by Bertrand Hudon.
Another one for Betts. That's closing in on Brett Johnson.
Franchise record of
just a great power rush with just willing it to happen. And there's the overall list. Jamal Westerman tied it in 2015. But Brent Johnson, 17-05, and it's 2 away from tying it.
3 more cracks at it with games coming up against Winnipeg, Hamilton, and Calgary. Very serious there, wasn't he? He's all business. He'll hand it off on first down. Pretty good pickup.
Now it's a game. Now it's like
staring contest.
It's a staring contest. Don't blink.
It's not a game. It's not a game. If they heard that shit up there, yo!
This guy doesn't blink.
Oh, he is not blinking. He is Juggernaut.
A staring contest with the nation. Put a clock on this guy. We can confirm Matthew Betts is a robot. He's a defensive robot. 2nd and 6. Adams settles back down. Heavy hit on the far side of the field, but Hollins has his 2nd catch of the ball game. Nice reset there by Vernon Adams.
Yeah, it was. It was great to buy himself some more time. That pocket starting to close in on him, and you know, this is a little Trey Ford-like, the way he spun out of this and found a way to get back open. Just spin out. The young Vernon Adams giving us a little glimpse of what he was doing a lot of when he first got in the league. Good football play, though. Jaden Dalkey came out, make a nice hit. Not till first down territory was reached.
Adams closing in on 300 yards. Again, he'll pick it up here. Down the field, wide open. How does he get that wide open? It's Hollins again. Touchdown, BC. 71 yards. Adams to Hollins. And the Lions open up a 14-point cushion.
Vernon Adams couldn't get this one out of his hands quick enough. He saw Alexander Hollins get in behind everybody. There's Dalkey up. He's kind of right there robbing the middle, about 10 or 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, so he can't help on this deep route. Not sure if he was assigned to be back there or he had a halfback or corner that should have been, but wow. That's a bust in the coverage, and you bust against this receiving core, goodbye.
They'll kill you. And that's what Hollins did there. Adams now at 366 yards in this game. He needed 453 to get to 4,000 tonight. Adams, he looks up, wide open, deep down the field. 13. Hollins loves it. I think it's safe to say Vernon Adams Jr. loves it even more.
One of these guys has the deep outside third. Now Moncrief looks like he's starting out like he might be the guy, but Moncrief right here is going to jump this short route. Dalkey looks like he's robbing the middle, so it may have been Nick Marshall out there who's just sort of floating and should have been the deep guy. You asked why. One of those three had to have the deep outside third in that zone coverage, and they busted.
Adams takes advantage. Alford. And he has nowhere to go. Once again, Adrian Green this time.
That same post he just caught, he dropped that motherfucker.
Nice look here is Nick Marshall. Nick Marshall basically hesitated.
Yeah. And he didn't go back to the other guy either, right?
And so Derek Moncrief jumped the short route as if that was his man. So between the two of them, I don't think Dalkey was involved. I think he was robbing the curl. Either way, three got him.
Now they are down 15. Schaefer Baker hauls in another one. And eventually Woods is there to help finish him off after the initial tackle on the play.
Vernon Adams, with more than a quarter to go, is now looking at a pace for his best game, certainly of the season. Last time they played against Saskatchewan, he put 455 up, didn't win that game.
He does that again tonight. He hits 4,000 for the first time in his career. 2nd and 6. Golagala heaves one down the field, was looking for Jarrett Stearns, and maybe it hung up there just a bit too long.
I think it was a play made by Adrian Green, who was kind of switched position. He was going to start at safety tonight for Quincy Mosier, as we mentioned off the top of the show, but because Jalen Edward Cooper kind of called in sick, he had an illness and couldn't dress tonight, so they bumped Green out the corner, and he makes a nice play closing on that one.
Green, 24-year-old out of St. Mary's. Opportunity to step up in this defense tonight, and he does the job. Big kick this time from Corsac. Williams forced to retreat after the 59-yarder. Brings it back up the field. Get to about the 31 before he's gang tackled by the Riders. Adams putting on a show on Friday Night Football.
It's the same thing, so now he can direct. He's already played the plays 5, 6, 10 times each in warm-up, so that you don't have to think when you're on the field on game day.
In his last 7 quarters against the Riders, he's thrown for 821 yards. That's big. Start on the ground here. Decent pickup right up the middle.
Well, there's some worthy candidates in the MOP discussion, because we're at that time of year where votes are going to come in pretty soon.
It's a fun chat right now.
And Vernon Adams is going up a few notches here for this performance tonight, and I know the interceptions are there, and that's going to affect some votes, but Zach Collaros has thrown a couple picks over the last few weeks.
They're all in double digits. Zach, Kelly, they're all there.
Yeah, so all worthy, don't get me wrong. Kelly didn't play tonight.
Vernon missed a couple of games as well. He can also do this. Takes off right up the middle. And that'll be a first down for the BC Lions, courtesy the quarterback.
But again, he can do this. The other two guys, Chad Kelly can run as well, but we don't see it very often with Collaros. I don't know. It's going to be a tough vote. And hey, Brady Oliveira's having a great year in Winnipeg.
Kind of, eh?
I just don't know if it's enough to unseat the starting quarterback. But great discussion down the stretch here.
Nothing like a good debate to get people fired up. Very much look forward to it. Adams throwing again down the field, and how about the timing on this? Drops it into Rhymes over the outstretched hands of Micah Tights.
Well, it's the accuracy of the throw that protects Rhymes, because he knows he's got a guy high. I believe it's Derek Moncrief, and he's going to come downhill to make the hit, but the throw is so accurate. See how it's allowing Dominic Rhymes to protect himself. Kind of double clutched that, but came down with it. He protected himself to absorb the hit.
25 yards on the play to Rhymes. Puts him at 92 in his return to the lineup.
No.
Pressure this time. Adams, look out. They get there. C.J. Rivas. Free look at him. And Adams reaching to his back here as he gets up. Bit of a stinger there.
Well, he's trying to shake it off. Blitz came off the edge free, and what they do is put Micah Johnson outside to be the widest guy and then bring an extra one. So Mizell slides over, but too late to pick up C.J. Rivas. And you're right, Vernon Adams getting up, grabbing that tailbone.
Stays in there, 9 yards away from a 400-yard game. Empty backfield here. 3 to the left, 3 to the right, out into the flat to Lucky Whitehead. Lucky near side, gets to the 35, stays on his feet, puts on the brakes at the 20, and they will track him
by Jordan Maximic. His quarterback just got hit on a blitz, and he got up a little bit sore. So what does he do? Give him a bubble screen just in case they run another blitz. And that's exactly what they did with the same guy in C.J. Rivas. Another blitz off the edge, but the bubble screen gets it out of Vernon Adams' hands quickly.
Bubble screen goes for 26. Adams over 400. Now they'll just drop it off to Hollins. Hollins looking for a blocker, finds a couple down to the 10. And that looks like another first down for the BC Lions as they march on once again against the team that gives up the most points in the league this year.
I just love when a coordinator protects his players, protects his quarterback. Got up a little bit sore. He's not going to put him deep in the pocket looking for deep routes. He gives him a quick throw so he can keep shaking that hit off.
See, Adams still kind of feeling it there. Was reaching back to the tailbone area again. That's Amari Henderson who's down.
Well, he might be wanting to come out and take a second. Looked like he waved to the bench like
take another look at why he's feeling it a little bit.
just another look at the sack. You see Micah Johnson goes inside, and that leaves Rivas just a little bit too wide for Mizell to get out there and get to.
It's kind of the weight, maybe.
Yeah, and the way he bent. Dominic Davis is the backup tonight. No Dane Evans. He was injured in warm-up last week.
Adams right now 22 of 31, 417, couple of touchdowns, and looking to finish off this drive here. First and goal from the Riders 7. Saskatchewan desperately wanting to at least try to hold them to just 3 here. VA, other ideas. Mizell stands in behind his quarterback. 3 receivers, wide side left for Adams. They'll go to the running back. Mizell had to hesitate, and eventually just to the 5 and no further.
Yeah, this is what you call the old-fashioned create a pile. If you're up there trying to turn things back in, create a pile. I believe Jeremy Clark gets it done here. You can't make the tackle because you're taking on 2 pulling linemen, and Micah Johnson's in there as well. Here comes Clark, and create a pile, make the running back bounce around that pile, and it buys you a little bit of time in pursuit.
Lions will try it again. Second and goal from the 5 this time. Rhymes and Hollins in the slot to the right of Adams. Adams looking for Hollins, wide open again, drops it in there. 3rd passing touchdown of the game for Vernon Adams, and the Lions blow it wide open.
You know, with the issues in the first half with Keon Hatcher, it looked like Saskatchewan went to some more zone looks to try and protect against Keon Hatcher, you know, doubling his numbers, and that's when Hollins all of a sudden emerges against the zone defense, wide open again that time.
Sean White makes it a 22-point ball game. Hollins at 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rhymes is at 92 yards. Hatcher's at $160 and a touchdown as well. This was an 8-play, 79-yard drive that took just over 5 minutes.
Mizell knew it was a done deal, and so did Vernon Adams. Just put a little air under that and let him go get it.
They are loving it tonight at BC Place.
Coach Benavides first over there to congratulate him. Well, now Terry Williams is quicker, so he jumps in front.
Of course, Terry Williams is quicker. Right? 8 touchdowns on the season now for Hollins. Taken at the 15. Bertrand Udon on the return, and a nice one shaping up. Gets them down just short of his own 50. Decent field position once again for Dolegala, but his team facing a massive uphill climb. Well, they're both the man.
Yeah.
So far tonight. We've talked about it quite a bit. The group of targets that Vernon Adams has. Maybe we should not be surprised that he's closing in on being the first 4,000-yard QB in the league this season. Hickson on the ground. Tough night. Hickson has 11 yards on 7 carries prior to that. So nothing on the ground tonight against the BC Lions defense for Hickson or the Riders. The party is on at BC Place. Lions leading 33-11. Hollins to the end zone twice. 33-11, and look at what they've done through the air here tonight. Spectacular.
Well, the second half has sort of exposed the changes that the Riders had to make in the secondary. And that last play was not Derek Moncrief's fault, but that last play was sort of an indication. We've seen receivers now in behind coverage because of the bust in the back end. Communication is not quite there. I'll show you then what happens on this last one. This time it's C.J. Rivas right here, who's got the man-to-man on Hollins coming out of the backfield, number 13. And he's going to just cross and layer all the way across, but he's got a cover and man, and he's got a bow behind that goalpost. And when he does, you see the separation. All Vernon Adams had to do was lift the ball and drop it to him.
We talked about coming into this game, two teams heading in opposite directions right now. The Riders lost 3 in a row, trying to avoid a 4th, and BC heating up at just the right time. Dolegala, Schaefer-Baker, and that one will go for a first down for Saskatchewan. There's lots of time here, but boy, do they have to move quick offensively.
Yeah, in and out of the huddle, they got basically calling it on the line of scrimmage. You're right, though. Tons and tons of time.
BC proved that you can eliminate 21 points in a few minutes in this league. On the ground, still nothing. Nothing opening up for Hickson tonight. Less than 2 yards per carry.
Yeah, the only thing that they made a couple plays with him when they got him in the passing game.
Yeah, they did.
Whether it was that jet route coming out of the backfield and going in the middle, that was their beginning of their big drive for a touchdown, or pushing the flat.
Yeah, 2 completions, 1 for 20, 1 for 13. So, managed to get him going out there. Missed him a couple of times, too. 2nd and 8 here. See if they activate him out of the backfield again. 2 options to the wide side right here for Dolegala. That's where he looks. That's where he throws. He's got a completion to Jones. First down for the visitors. And this drive stays alive. Back into the hands of Jones for the 2nd time in this game.
Oh, man. There's something going on between Frankie Hickson and Josh Woods. They were talking at the end of that last play. They're still talking now. And on that snap, Woods got after it. Look at him talking. They're going back and forth. He said, okay, go ahead, block me. Here he comes. And they get physical in there.
Game within the game. I love it. Completion for another first down. Back to Jared Stearns.
They're still going. Meanwhile, Stearns says, hey guys, I just got a new set of downs for us.
Keep talking.
Keep focused, yeah.
Dolegala. Pick up 7 along the way here, and that is timed relatively well by Green. Got there and broke it up. Looked like they were going to drop it in for 89 again.
Yeah, he's made a couple of plays, and that's saying something for a young guy out of St. Mary's who's in his 2nd year. Big draft year for the BC Lions that year. They got Varga, Archibald, Green, Nathan Cherry, all in the same draft year. Whew,
that's a good one.
22. He was the 4th round pick. He made a couple plays tonight at that wide corner.
7th play of the drive. Pressure from the Lions. Getting it away quickly into the hands and out of the hands of Bain. Looked like he had to reach up there. But if you ask him, he might think he should have had that.
Again, Brett Lowther with a bad shoulder is going to come out and try the field goal here.
Bain just 5'9". That ball slightly too high. Lowther going to trot back out here. He's been in pain since making a tackle earlier in the game. Wincing, holding his right shoulder after his last kick. This one, 32-yarder. And he misses it all the way through the end zone as Lowther just pulls that one a little bit left. And the uphill battle continues for the Riders. Ugh. Still stinging.
Season, biggest of any quarterback of the season for that matter, and 4:22 with a quarter to go. Well, 11 minutes to go.
He is 31 yards away from being the first quarterback to hit the 4,000 mark this season. It'll be the first time in his career. That's a completion to who else? Hatcher.
Gets credit for all those yards too, even though it was about a 3-yard throw. Hatcher turned the corner and picked up the first down.
I like when they move him out, get him on the run to his right.
I do too.
First and 10 from the BC 52. 3 options out to Adams left. This time they'll opt to hand it off. And a nice tackle, CJ Rivas, a guy that's very versatile in this Riders defense. Another tackle for the loss there.
I just wonder if Jason Shivers has had to, because of the changes in the back end, has had to play a lot of zone tonight. You know, and Vernon Adams is taking advantage of that with some real solid looks because of their changes back there. Now you're not going to, when I showed you CJ Rivas down inside the 10-yard line, you don't do that down there. It's always, or almost always, man.
4-yard loss of the Mizell carry. 2nd and 14. Adams goes to his running back. Flag on the play though as he pushes ahead for the first down. But there's a flag back by the quarterback. Looks like this is coming back.
10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Didn't get a number there, but our producer with the eagle eye, Chris Edwards in the truck, is sure it was Kent Perkins, and I hope he's right, because if he's not. Okay. I think he's right. Wow, big sigh of relief down there in the truck right now.
And he gets it done again. That's why he's the 2nd best in the biz. 2nd and 24. Adams running back again. Mizell, spin move, tripped up, taken down by A.J. Allen, and that'll bring up 3rd and long, and they'll be forced to kick it away.
Yeah, deep drops for the linebackers and DBs for the Riders there. Just force Vernon Adams to throw it underneath and then rally to the tackle.
Mario Alford held in check so far tonight. BC Lions special teams doing the job. Top gets it away. Alford backpedals, takes it at the 14. 50-yard kick, short return right up the middle. BC Lions cruising against the Riders. And watch Fun Day Football, which is a really good idea. And I'm very much looking forward to it. The Lions tonight to infinity and beyond offensively. Get to Emelis. Nice pickup, takes it all the way outside the 40.
Yeah, that was quite the, well, and it looks like Emelis is going to need to take a few plays anyway to regroup. He went to go back to the huddle, and something wasn't quite right.
Remains down on one knee. He bounced up right away and then was headed back over, but
I gotta
taking a look at him.
Gotta show you that Matthew Betts in the game, another big game for him tonight. But he also covers kicks. I mean, this is the punt team. That's number 90, Matthew Betts. I can't emphasize enough how tough it is to cover the punt in Canadian football. Block up front. Now he hustles down and covers the kick. And all the great returners we have in the league. And then we went to commercial break. But most of the time you don't, and it goes back to, okay, there he is right there. It goes back to, you got about 10 seconds to catch your breath after a 45-yard run and then go play defensive end.
He must be an incredible athlete. Completion to Jones. Just things that they can do with this guy. And I'm so fascinated by that. How long he went without blinking earlier on the broadcast tonight. That was maybe the most impressive thing.
So another superpower.
He's got a few of them. Vernon Adams getting stretched out. Obviously related to him continually reaching for his tailbone the last couple of possessions. First down on the ground this time for the Riders. They get it to Frankie Hickson.
Not having Emelis available for a few plays takes a serious weapon off the field, but the Riders can play out there with Mitch Picton. He's got a lot of playing time down here at the bottom.
Oligala in trouble, tosses it ahead, incomplete pass as he was eventually finished off on the play by Usher.
Here comes Emelis back in, and it's almost time for him to make one of those circus catches. Yorkie and Schaefer Baker. We've seen him in his last couple of years take a bubble screen to the house.
Second and 10, BC 52. Five-man pressure. Oligala stays in there, goes to Baker, and he's got a first down, powering his way down inside the 35. And after a great game last week, Schaefer Baker following it up with another solid performance here.
This is what we saw last year, and this is the playmaker in him. I mean, this is not just going to be a 10-yard curl. It's going to be a 20-yard play because he's digging in and making it happen. Ends up being 19 yards.
Down to the line, 33. There is Emelis, and he seems fine as he breaks a few tackles trying to keep this play alive. Remember
that one more time segment? He made a catch in August. I'm just gonna throw it out there as a thought. Just a thought. Not right now. Ready to play in August against this team.
Second and 4. Right up the middle. Bertrand Hudon.
So you just throw it out there. You see what happens. One more time. We got the segment. Flashback. Mosaic Stadium. First start for Jake Dolegala and a big game for Sam Emelis. 106 yards, but we haven't shown you the best one yet. This is the best one. Goes up and steals that one for a touchdown.
Third and short. Riders push ahead. That'll be a first down. Yeah, that other one in there that we showed in that pack. It was up over top of Gary Peters.
Yeah.
And it's tough to do anything when Gary Peters is around.
Well, he's climbed up to second on the list. He's just behind Tevin Jones for the lead on their team.
And then you've got Sean Bain, who actually leads the team in catches and targets as well. So Dolegala among the other quarterbacks that the Riders have been forced to use in one way or another this year. Managed to keep a lot of these guys involved. Dolegala over the middle. And that one into the hands of Stearns, who's getting involved. He had 5 catches last week for more than 50 yards. And that'll put him up over 35 tonight.
Sorry, Dustin, but now that's the enemy right there. That's the battle, is to try and get as many plays as you can, as quickly as you can.
BC.
And they're going to get a break here, because the Riders are, because the Lions call a timeout.
BC Lions using their timeout here, trying to keep pace with Winnipeg. Huge game against Winnipeg here next week.
Just a bit.
Friday night, all eyes around the Canadian Football League will be on that one. After that game against Winnipeg, BC will finish with Hamilton and Calgary in Hamilton, then home back here against Calgary. And there's so much on the line in that Winnipeg-BC game. There's a huge difference in a West final at IG Field and one here at BC Place.
Well, Rick Campbell's group, if they win tonight, they'll lock up home field. We just don't know which one.
10th play of the drive, Dolegala looking towards the end zone, and that is intercepted. BC Lions defense does it again. TJ Lee, 3rd interception of the season. And if they had a hope, TJ Lee just took it away.
They say imitation is the highest form of flattery. And in the century plus that we've been making trucks, we've been just oh so flattered. Often imitated, never ever duplicated. There's just no substitute for ingenuity like this, for tough like this. A tough like this goes by just one name.
Is your house too chilly in the winter or too warm in the summer? Sounds like your attic could use a top-up. With Atticat Pink Blown-In Insulation, it takes just 2 hours of work to keep your home comfortable all year long. Top up for comfort. Top up for savings. Top up with Atticat Pink Blown-In Insulation. Get started at owenscorning.ca or your local building materials store.
Tackling hunger in Canada starts with one red bag. When you fill a bag, you fill a truck. That truck fills a food bank. The food bank fills a table, which fills a family with hope. For 20 years, we've been on a mission to tackle hunger, and you can help by filling a red bag.
Jake Dolegala's had some good moments in this game tonight, but this is a throw he wants back because he throws it on too much of a line here and doesn't put enough air under it. He wants to throw it out to this corner, but he throws too flat of a football like this, and when he gets there, it allows TJ Lee to cut underneath it. You got to teardrop that one in, and then if his receiver can't catch it, it goes out of bounds.
Usually that's how he throws the ball, too.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's done a few of them tonight.
Yeah. BC gets the ball back. Immediately to Mizell. Decent pickup on first down. Vernon Adams away from the 4,000-yard mark.
Timeout, Saskatchewan.
TJ Lee's pick, and he wants to he wants to give that one to his defensive coordinator, who had a few in his time. 47, as a matter of fact. 47.
Couldn't catch you.
Well, we had some fun. I've bugged him before, Ryan. Because every time I saw him when he was playing for the BC Lions, we'd always have a little meeting before the game, and he would say, I'm catching you. I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you. And I said, I know you are. Just
take that energy to punt.
I think TJ Lee is
Timer,
like,
can you please reset the clock to 4:24?
He's really kind of a Ryan Phillips clone. Great leader back there, can play man or zone. excellent with the ball. That's his 3rd pick of the campaign.
Entire career here in BC. BC came into this game with just 11 interceptions. It was actually tied for 8 in the league, but they got a couple so far tonight. Adams finds Lucky Whitehead. Lucky Whitehead may have just picked up 11 yards on that play.
Vernon Adams closing in.
That puts Vernon Adams, they announce it in-house here.
There you go.
To 4,000 yards on the season. First career 4,000-yard passing season, and he's still back down on a knee there. They're looking at an injured member of the Riders on the field, and that's why the Lions are taking a knee. But you saw him still kind of reaching towards his lower back. But first career 4,000-yard season for Adams is in the books. He's at 454 yards, which is just a yard shy of his season high 455. Well, with 3 games left, it's not completely out of the question that he tosses another 1,000 yards out here with the way that he's playing.
No,
right? So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about the 300-yard games. He had 8 coming in. This is number 9. He might get to 5 tonight. That's how it started. First drive of the game to Javon Couture. Then Keon Hatcher went off in the second quarter. Couple throws to Dominic Grimes. Back in the lineup. That was just before the end of the half. And then a couple of breakdowns in the Riders secondary. And Alexander Hollins wanted to get involved in some of the fun.
Hollins' 71-yard strike was his longest play of the season. Keon Hatcher tonight's at 172 yards. That surpasses his season high of 170. And just before this drive began, the offensive receiver group was on the field dancing. They're just feeling pretty good about what they're seeing right now offensively. 33 points here. They've scored at least 34 in each of their last 3. First and 10 from their own 47. Handed off back to about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was an interesting look from Rick Campbell on the sideline when he was watching in that break. Because, you know, he's thinking with that much time left and the lead they have, Vernon Adams still sort of favoring that tailbone that was bugging him. And get to the 3-minute warning, see if he finishes this drive.
Second and 10 for BC. Adams looking to throw again. Checks it down. Mizell. Spin move at the 50. Not sure he got anywhere with it.
Not on
the
Larry
Riders
Dean.
were there.
Not on Larry Dean.
It does.
He tried.
Put Vernon Adams at the most passing yards in a game this season in the Canadian Football League, surpassing his 455. He now sits at 458. That'll take us to 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. Here at BC Place, Lions comfortably on top. Alford looking to do something special here in the late moments. Flintoff lets it fly. Taken cleanly at the 22. Nowhere to go. Defensive coordinator for the Riders, Jason Shivers. Interesting story here. Let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, guys, Shivers has been very passionate about learning and supporting the Indigenous community. And one of the reasons for that is that he sees similarities between the Indigenous struggle for rights and freedoms to what Black Americans have had to deal with in the United States. Shivers has attended several powwows as well as visited James Smith Cree Nation where the tragic stabbings happened last year. Also the Kawasas First Nations outside of Regina. They gave him a star blanket for being a guest of honor. When he first came to Canada, Stephen Harper was the Prime Minister, and he issued an apology to Indigenous people for the atrocities they'd suffered, and he couldn't have imagined that that ever would have happened in the United States. And he's also very much about the Indigenous communities and trying to find out what they're going to do in terms of getting back their knowledge carriers he resonates with that because his grandmother, he feels, was one of those. She was born in 1920, and she supported a lot of what the black community was dealing with in the civil rights movement. So he just loves to learn and feels very passionate about what they're doing and gets involved whenever he can.
It's important to have another voice there, right?
Yeah, and it really creates awareness and for all of us, as these t-shirts have. 10,000 t-shirts designed by a local designer, local artist, Corinne Hunt. Corinne Hunt, the design of the t-shirt circulated by the word mountain lion, but written in Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh language, and there were 10,000 free shirts handed out to, again, create awareness with regards to the impact of the residential schools. And good for Jason Shivers, and you see Gary Peters and his relationship. Can all do more research on exactly what went down and the impact it's had.
I think what you do see with a lot of the indigenous spin on the logos, they all look phenomenal.
Oh,
they all look really good. You can find them online. They look sensational. Dolagala, one of his best throws of the night. Complete down the field to Schaefer Baker, and that puts Dolagala over 300 yards in this football game.
Well, that's what I mean. He's had his moments. The first quarter started real slow, but he's had his moments tonight, and then he just couldn't keep Vernon Adams and that explosive offense for the BC Lions off the field long enough.
Just three-man pressure here. Flag as he guns another one in there, down inside the 20, spinning it down towards the 11 with Jareth Stearns again.
Looks like the flag is in the secondary.
Offside. BC number 93. Nope. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Offside BC. They'll take the play, obviously.
Fourth catch of the game for Stearns. They might have something in Stearns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I think a solid receiving core. Tevin Jones and Sean Bain have dropped off a little bit last 3 games.
Another completion back to Stearns, the rookie out of Western Kentucky. These two quarterbacks in this game have combined for over 800 yards passing. Dolagala and the Riders work from the BC 2. And that one will be handed off right up the middle. Thomas Bertrand Houdon, and the rookie finds the end zone for the Riders.
Bertrand Houdon gets the lane inside, almost like untouched through here. Yeah, some really nice blocking up front. Onside kick time. They're going to, after the extra point.
First career touchdown for Bertrand Houdon. Father, back up. Storyline there with Lawther as they work their way through the week. Reach for the shoulder once again. Bertrand Houdon, rookie out of Delaware State. And he's on special teams. Worked in here now with Morrow out, a little bit more involvement there. He's returned a few kicks as well. So obviously a guy that they could possibly see becoming a little bit of a weapon down the road.
Looks like he'll be on the onside kick team as well. Schaefer Baker will be one of those guys that go up and try and tap it out of bounds. And Canadian football, you have to be the last to touch it going out of bounds. Can't kick it out of bounds or it goes to the other team. And you can't hit the guy trying to receive the ball, the onside kick, early, but you can make contact, try and block your way there. In other words, the hands team for the Lions can try and block the cover guys for the Riders.
Sounds like you were saying a lot of rules. There's a lot of things that you need to follow properly to execute one of these things.
Oh, and you got to make it 10 yards. It's got to go 10 yards before it's touched, so it's got to be somewhere in here.
On top of that, if they get it, I lose my mind. Lawther trying to get the ball back here for the Riders.
Go.
Heaves it up there. And is that hauled in? Ball is loose, and they'll scramble just inside the 45. Looks like the Riders had a chance to make a play on this football.
Well, Schaefer Baker, I think he won the jump ball, but then...
Did he hang on to it,
I'm not
though?
sure he hung on. Here's 89, just to right of your screen. Watch him elevate, and then it goes through. Bounces off the turf. He lands on the ball.
And then somehow pulled it back in because it has been ruled Riders' ball.
Is that Jackson Ford that went in there and got it?
Kind of laying down at the bottom of the pile, wasn't he? There's an official right now that's down on the field. He somehow got hurt in the pile. And he is up and being looked at by the BC Lions staff. Thomas Asari. He'll be all right. There's no tent, eh? No tent
I don't
for the officials?
I'm not sure.
Oh, there actually is.
Yeah, no,
they are setting up the tent.
Yep.
Another question answered here on Friday Night Football.
Well, you take a couple deep shots here.
Well, score a touchdown, then get the ball back again, right?
That's exactly right.
Got to move right now, though. Just a minute and 13 seconds on the clock. Drive starts on their 44. Dolegala gets it away. Back to Stearns again. Finding Stearns in some soft spots underneath this BC Lions defense.
Well, there will be soft spots with the way they're playing now. They're going to drop back deep enough so that you can't get in behind them and have Dolegala throw everything underneath to eat up the clock. He can't nickel and dime this now. He's got to take some shots and hope he gets a jump ball or maybe a PI call.
Midfield, first down, takes it to the BC 49, first catch of the game for Picton.
Yeah, the Lions will that's exactly what they want them to do. You just throw it underneath.
Give you those all day with this clock ticket?
Absolutely.
Barron wasn't trying to hide that one. Hey, there's no pointing.
He was committed
on that play.
He was past the point of no return on the early movement.
If you're going to jump, jump. That's what he did.
Offside, BC. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, yeah, big week next week for the two top teams in the division.
Dolegala right over the middle has another completion down inside the 25. And right back to Stearns again for 24 more. That puts him as the clubhouse leader in receiving yards in this game for the Riders. Dolegala, passing total creeping up there tonight as well. BC Lions just trying to finish this thing off here. Dolegala on the run out to his right, has a ton of time, has a completion just inside the 10, down to the 5, continuing to push. And it will be Schaefer Baker stopped just shy of the end zone.
Timeout, Saskatchewan.
Well, Craig Dickinson uses his timeout.
And puts Schaefer Baker at 100 yards. Stearns is at 102, actually, so two 100-yard receivers. And Jake Dolegala is at 405 yards passing. So VA's gone off for 458, and Dolegala sits at 405.
So you're looking at 18 seconds. Punch it in here. Can't afford to go twice here. Probably lose too much time. There's no time taken off for an extra point. There's no time taken off on the kick. The clock starts on the kick of the ball. A lot has to happen. There's still a lot of work. There's still a lot of hill to climb here. Essentially need 3 plays. This one, onside kick, and a deep ball.
Gala to the corner. Schaefer Baker flags on the play. He hauls it in. Touchdown Riders.
Pass interference declined or offensive pass interference?
That's what I'm waiting for here. Did he create some space for himself at the end of this play?
Or was it straight screening by Sales? I believe it was in coverage.
Would be his 10th catch of the ball game. Gary Peters trying to make a case there, isn't he?
Okay, well, no time will come off the clock for the extra point.
Best game of the season for Schaefer Baker. Wow.
Yeah, he's back. Saw it last week. Saw it against Ottawa.
Now we're going to get a challenge late in this game.
Well, we'll take another look at that PI.
BC is challenging that there was offensive pass interference. We'll review the play.
I was going to say let them both go. In other words, Schaefer Baker's got a little pull here on Sales. Sales pushes him. So it kind of cancel out.
You're kind of saying it's a little bit of PI both ways.
Yeah, just play the play, and the play stands as a touchdown. Little push, little pull. Both players involved. Catch was made. I thought they might just pick up the flag and say, let it go.
Rick Campbell has thrown that challenge flag 4 times this season. He has yet to win one. We'll try to change that here. And this would be an interesting call if it's overturned, if you're calling defensive pass interference one way,
well,
and then overturn it, call offensive pass interference the other way. That mean it wasn't defensive pass interference then?
Well, they're challenging for offensive pass interference. Yeah, that's what Rick Campbell is trying to do. Now, the only difference is the push and the pull, to me, cancel out. But there was a jersey grab by Schaefer Baker. And I think that's probably what Gary Peters is trying to say.
I just don't know how you can take the penalty away on the other side.
I don't think you can.
No, the worst case scenario, you have to saw it off.
I think it's either leave the play as is and let the two guys decide the outcome, and Schaefer Baker won that battle, or call both, which would mean down over, which doesn't help Saskatchewan's cause because the clock is their enemy.
You call the pull, you call the push. The classic DPI, OPI on the same play. Let's find out.
I mean, in slow motion, it looks worse than it is, but okay.
After review, we have 2 penalties on the play. We have pass interference, BC, and we have offensive pass interference, Saskatchewan. We'll redo the play from the previous line of scrimmage.
So in some ways, a successful challenge for Rick Campbell, because first of all, he gets his first win of the season.
Yeah, now he's
challenged department. But it's not really a win because the Riders get the ball back. They'll have to do down over, but it will eat into this clock in the 13 seconds. Unless they got to be quick here, the Riders.
Now the Riders trail by 14. For some of you, a major here would matter as they try to keep their hopes alive. First and goal from the BC 2. On the ground, right up the middle. And Bertrand Hudon gets it done again. 33-25, BC leads. 9 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, now there were 4 seconds that came off the clock at on this one, but I'm wondering if they'll add 1 or 2, in that he had crossed the line before the play was done there, and a couple of more seconds came off the clock after that.
Timer, please put 10 seconds on the clock.
There you go.
Please put 10 seconds on the clock.
10 seconds.
Give 1 back.
Lother to make it a 7-point ball game. He'll be called into duty here again one more time. That one straight down the middle. 2-touchdown night for Bertrand Hudon. First 2 scores of his CFL career. 10 seconds. You never know. Weird bounce.
Well, you got to win this jump ball or whatever they try at the onside kick department. Do they go back to the sky ball again? Yeah, I think Greg Dickinson is saying just exactly that. Let's do the sky ball, kick it up. Schaefer Baker won the jump ball last time, recovered by a teammate when it kind of went through his hands, but he elevated well above the rest of the pack. And then you take 1 shot deep and hope for either a penalty or the miracle catch. Now, showed you the one more time with Emlis. I'm just saying.
Riders look to get it back again. Already recovered 1 onside kick attempt in the final moments of this quarter. Can Lother do it again? Up for grabs in the air. Not this time. BC Lions will hang on. Katoy makes sense. Biggest, strongest guy out there hauls it in.
Yeah, and the difference between this onside kick and the last one was just, it was a little deeper.
Too deep.
Yeah, it was just, Lowther just put it, and that's a tough kick to make. It really is. Something that you have to practice a ton.
Well, to drop 2 in a row in there perfectly would be
The
tough.
first one was right at 11 yards. That one was about 16, and that gave Katoy lots of time to field it.
We know BC, what's next for them? Big one against the Bombers coming up. They keep pace with Winnipeg tonight. That the game next Friday is going to be absolutely incredible. Can't wait to watch it. What about the Riders? They've lost 4 in a row. They're still in an okay spot considering what's happening behind them. But you don't want to drop 4 in a row this time of year.
No, and they've got Calgary. They got Hamilton next, and then Calgary. Calgary wants to close the gap.
Well, if Calgary can take care of business tomorrow, that sets things up nicely.
Successful return for Dominic Rhymes. Big game for this fast break BC Lion offense. And congratulations to Vernon Adams. 4,000 yards passing on the season. We've got a few games to go.
BC Lions, they've